Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Frankie Kington, known as a wise entrepreneur, and I have my guest speaker again, my good friend, Darren J. Brookes, and we're talking about the launch of our books. So I'm really excited to have you on again. Darren, good morning, Darren. How are you, my good friend?
Really good, Frankie. Good to see you. How are you?
Always good to see you, Darren. Yeah, you've always got a good smile and a nice smile. And I'm really looking forward to this video channel. We're going to talk about our books because me and Darren are really close to launching our books. Darren's going to touch on why he wants to launch his books. He's going to give us some tips as well as what he's done to launch his books to help other people to write their stories. Because we all have a story, don't we, Darren? Would you agree with that?
Definitely. I think we're writing a book each day of the week, really. Each part's a new chapter, and it's trying to make the next chapter better than the previous one, I think.
Excellent, Darren. So Darren is going to tell us some tips about how he's written his book, what we can take away from it. I'm sure I'm going to take loads of notes because I need that for my book. So Darren, tell us about your book, the title, what tips have you done, how have you gone to getting it published and getting it moved on there out into the market?
Well, it's called Dreams to Goals, Frankie. So, it's taking that dream that can feel really overwhelming, whether it be a childhood dream or early adulthood, and breaking it down into manageable goals, which I think is really important because you can have this dream that feels massive and overwhelming, yet when you actually start breaking it down, it doesn't become that overwhelming at all. When you're thinking, what do I need to do this year? What do I need to do this month? What do I need to do this week? It's down to what do I need to do today, and taking those steps each day, really takes that pressure off, and you start seeing progress really quickly. One thing I always say to my clients is take one step each day close to your dreams, and by the end of the year, you've taken 365 steps there, which somebody may not have done. So some days those steps are going to be a lot bigger, but if you can just take one each day, whether it be one email, catching up with one person, writing one page, whatever it may be. I implemented that exact same process for writing your book, Frankie. It was one of the chapters in there is called 10 Steps of Transformation. And these are, for me, the 10 steps that worked on bringing my dream to life. So number one was to be crystal clear on your dreams, be exactly clear on what you want to achieve. Number two, believe that you can achieve it. Number three, know your why. Why is the reason why you're doing this, who you're doing it for, what you're doing it for. Number four was develop an effective morning routine. I think a morning routine is really important to kickstart your day. Number five, choose your circle of people. Make sure you've got the right people around you, which, we both know the importance of that. That's why we're catching up today. Number six, develop a positive mindset. Number seven, set goals. Number eight, take action. 9, look for opportunities, not obstacles. And number 10, never give up, which is, what Maria always says, never give up. If that dream's come to you, that dream's come to you for a reason. It's not to, keep going on something that's not working. You might have to change direction. And I think that comes under looking for opportunities, but don't give up on it. Keep going.
Thanks a lot, Darren. That was great. So you've got 10 articles to your book.
There's 10 chapters, Frankie, but they come under one chapter, they come under 6, and the rest of the book really is different stories about people, who've gone after the dreams, ways that are going to hold you back, being jealous of people, being jealous of other people's success is never going to sort of bring success into your life, developing that morning routine, listening to the right material, listening to positive things that uplift you. There's quite a bit in there. I'm excited, man. Really excited.
I'm excited as well, Dan. I'm really excited to actually buy the book as well. I think for me, Darren, how did you feel writing the book? Because I know how I felt, and I'll explain it later. How did you feel writing the book? Was it an easy process? How did you feel? What did it do for your spirit, say, for your life? Was it a challenge or?
I signed on a program called the Big Book Lockdown, which was at the beginning of the first lockdown with a fantastic woman, Samantha Houghton, who's worth adding up on Facebook if you've got a story to share. Straight away, I saw her on a Facebook Live, and I just thought, I want to work with this lady. She was amazing. She spoke the same language as me. she was talking about the universe, putting the right people in front of you. So it really resonated with me. I signed on to that, and that kind of gave me, Frankie, this book that had been whizzing around in my head. It gave me the blueprint to kind of put pen to paper. And then writing it, you know, at first felt quite difficult. I think chapter 1 and 2, I struggled to hit the word count. But after that, I found it really therapeutic. I was sort of speaking of stories from the past, experiences that had sort of shaped my own journey. So, yeah, I found it a really real sort of spiritual process, and a really therapeutic process. It made me feel really good. I went kind of through all emotions, through you know, a bit of sadness from some stories from the past, like, but it was yeah, it was an amazing process. It's one I'd like to repeat again. I'd like to definitely write another one. I think it was yeah, it was amazing, and it still is, Frankie. It's getting to the point of being published now, but it's still an amazing process. I'm still getting a lot from it now, even though I'm not writing it anymore.
Excellent, Darren. What I was really looking for, what I'm laughing about, what I was really looking for, you said the word therapeutic, because that's exactly how I felt. It was really therapeutic. And when I was writing my book, it made me realize, it made me think of all the kind of pain and struggles what I've been through, but what I've overcome.
Yeah.
And I felt quite emotional about writing this book. And I felt like everything kind of flowed, because all the important aspects of growing up in my life and changing what I've changed now, I've really been highlighted in my book.
Amazing.
So
amazing.
It's what you said about therapeutic, and you're making you feel, you know, emotional, and bringing up all these emotions, because that's exactly what a book does. But, you know, I felt so happy for me just having the flow of just writing 12 chapters, you know, to my book. And one of my chapters, I've got about 12 chapters, and the last two are empowering the leaders of the 21st century. And one chapter's called Equilibrium.
Awesome.
And I think the second one's called Who Needs Education? Which is really interesting, because at that time, I didn't really care about education.
Yeah.
So all the highlighted chapters there, what I've highlighted, were really important aspects of my journey and my life, where I'm up to now, and the passion I feel I want to help other people and youth write their book and write their story. So I have 12 chapters, but with my book, Darren, I actually went and did it through a blog. Because I was actually told, if you can write 12 articles of a blog, or even 10 or 9, you can put your book together. That's like being an author for your own book. So I followed that advice. I thought, oh, that was really great advice. I'll do a blog and then do 12 articles. Now I have my book called The Wise Entrepreneur, Growing Pains, which is about growing pains. So thank you so much, Darren, for explaining to us about your book. Was it a tricky process? What people were involved to get your book published, just for the viewers?
For the main person who I've got to sort of give all the credit to in that front is Samantha Houghton, who said, you know, she's definitely worth adding up on social media if you're interested in writing a story. What she did is, after I'd finished the book, I sent it over to her and she edited it. Then she sent it to a team who she works with who proofread it. And now it's going to the printers shortly. She's helped me to design the cover, because I had this book, Frankie, whizzing around in my head for years, but for some reason I never had that picture of the cover. It just wasn't something I could conceive. I'm not very artistic in the drawing side of things and stuff. The words, you know, I loved writing, but she helped me with the cover. She put up these ideas, and one just clicked, and I thought, you know what, that sounds amazing. So yeah, you know, I've got to give full credit to her for the side of it getting out there. As far as you know, as far as the influences to write it in the first place, so many people have been a part of that journey. Some of them I've named in the book, but there's, if anything, I think there's too many to name, and I've wrote that in there. You know, for anybody that thinks that your name isn't there, don't think that you weren't a part of this. I just it's not enough pages to put everyone down who's been influential and inspirational and stuff, because there's that many. But you know, the ones that have specifically done something that really I've mentioned in there, and then there's other people I think who I'll mention in the next one. But yeah, it was a long process, but at the end of the day, I've had this dream since I was a little kid, and now I'm 40. So it doesn't matter how long the process of writing it is, because the process of getting to this point's been long enough.
That's great, Darren. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, when you write a book, there's so many people that you can think, oh, what about him? Oh, what about him? Oh, what about him? Because you know, Darren, on your journey, there's so many people who've helped you. Even the negative people are the people who think they can't help me. Everybody helps you on your journey to writing a book. And you think, I can't put all these people's names in a book.
Yeah.
Maybe I could put the closest people to me. And it's always interesting, you think, what about the doubters?
Yeah.
What about the negaholics or because I call them negheads. What about all the people who didn't expect me to get this far or didn't expect me to write my own book? Because at the end of the day, Darren, we don't hold grudges, but we want to encourage as many people as we can. Because we know that people are battling with their own demons in their own lives. Certain people have certain battles and challenges. We don't know what that is. But when you're writing your book, Darren, then all that comes to the surface. All your sufferings and pains and joys and happiness, everything comes to the surface, and you think, you know what? I'm going to put this in my book because I want the world to hear my story. I want to inspire loads of people to write their book. I want people to see my struggles, my joys, my weaknesses, my challenges, and how I'm still growing from this book. And you might think, you know what? I've written one, and you know what they say? I might want to write another in the next couple of years. Next thing you know, this great man, Darren J. Brookes, has got about 10 books. And people looking around thinking, wow. But Darren, what people need to understand is, because what we want to do, obviously, yeah, we know money's important and money serves us well. But it's not always about money. It's about encouraging people. It's about creating value. And it's about people opening something up in their lives and they think, maybe a book might open a couple of doors in my life. Maybe a book might encourage me to go and speak and go and talk to people about how I've written my book. So this book, Darren, it's not about how many we sell, which we like to sell loads. It's about how many lives we can touch. If we can touch one or two people's lives and they think, wow, I like this book and I know this guy, I'm going to write my book. That's what the benefit is. That's what the victory is. We're encouraging people. So we know, even if it's a couple of hundred books what we sell, how many doors, Darren, can we open? How many lives can we touch, even if it's one life? How many doors can we open? And I think people need to realize that a book builds trust, builds authenticity, it builds compassion, because you open up your life to all your sadness and your sorrows and all your transformation and your happiness and joy. And that is a real courageous thing to do, because we'll have our critics, we'll have our people. Who does he think he is? But at the end of the day, we've done what we've set to achieve. And if we can touch one person's life, that's a victory. And then we can open up more doors for our life, for us to do even more with our lives.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Frankie. You know, obviously, the more people that read your book, hopefully, the more people will it will have a positive influence on their life. For me personally, the main reason of writing that book was for my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter. She's like my mini business partner. She's my best friend. She's everything. And I didn't feel that I could authentically tell her to go after her dreams by not going after my own. You know, there's a lot of parents that will turn around and go, oh, you need to do this. And it's like, and they're doing something that they hate doing every day of the week. Yet they're trying to get the kids to go, oh, you can achieve anything. You can go after your dreams. Well, to be authentic in saying that, it's got to be, if I'm telling Ellie to go after her dreams and she's going, well, you're not, Dad. So the main thing was, to show her that your dreams can come true. You can go after your dreams and you can bring them to life. So that, she's 13 now, when she's 14, 15, and I'm encouraging her to go after everything she believes she can. And I can turn around and go, because I did, I can back it up, rather than just telling her to do something when I'm getting up every day, going to a job that I hate doing and don't do. and you know, the congruence just isn't there. So yeah, I think the main thing for me was that when I'm telling my daughter to go after her dreams, I can back that up by going after my own, and she can see that I'm doing that. And you know, secondary to that, as many people as this book can help to go after their dreams, to write their own book, to whatever it may be, to get to become an artist, to become an actor. Yeah, I hope it helps as many people as possible to believe that you can, and no matter what age you are, Frankie, I think that's important, that people think, you know, they've missed the boat because they've hit the 40s or you know, while you've still got a breath in you, it's never too late. It's never too late to go after your dreams. And I fully believe that those dreams won't go away until you bring them to life. They'll keep on, and I wrote about this, they'll keep on popping up, reminding you that it's still there until, you know, you take that step to bring it to life. It's not going to go anywhere.
That's fantastic, Darren. I loved, because you know the importance of the father and the daughter relationship. Yeah. I have a daughter, she's 21 in March. And I've told them right to the books, oh, great, Dad, I'm looking forward to reading it. And there's a lot of our childhood memories in there of growing up with my daughter. And you touched on the importance of inspiring your daughter. What more joy to inspire your daughter and showing your daughter that you've read your book, as she can see your story in your life and how you've grown up through your life. That's absolutely beautiful, isn't it, Darren? And that's just encouragement as well for your closest people to you, whether it's your father or your mum, your daughter or your sons. Isn't that inspiring? Isn't that lovely to know that you can get your family, your daughter, to read your book and see your life and how you've grown from where you was when you was a little kid to where you are now? That is so warm and that is so touching. And that, again, just knowing that, you don't have to be a father, but just the fact that you are a father, you've got a daughter and you've got children, isn't it inspiring to know that they can read your book and sit down and say, Dad, tell me about this part of this chapter, or Dad, tell me about that part of this chapter. How did you deal with that? And God, wow, what an amazing person. It gives, because we have to give hope. And I feel sometimes they say that your family and your friends can be your worst enemies. So if you can get your family and your friends on your side, supporting you in everything what you do, that is so encouraging. Because then if you've got your family and your friends on your side, it makes you more determined then and gives you more energy and power to do what you want to do, because you know you've got the most important people backing you up on your side to achieve your goals and achieve what you want to do. So Darren, touch on again your book, touch on the steps you've been through, because you mentioned a certain person. So one person looked at the book. Then can you touch on a few more of the other steps, what you did?
Yeah. So from doing that course, Frankie, initially, the Big Book Lockdown, I then started writing. You know, I then started implementing what I'd learned. You know, I love what you did with the blog thing. So, you know, it's implementing what works for you. So I started implementing what I'd learned on the Big Book Lockdown. I think, which, you know, I'm really proud of. I was the first person. I think she did four lots of the Big Book Lockdown. She said you're the first person to write your book. So I'm pretty proud of that. But, you know, from the moment I saw that first, because it was ran through like Facebook Lives, and from the moment I saw the first one, I knew that I was writing this book. There was no doubt about it. However long it took me, didn't matter. I knew I was writing it. So at the beginning of the first lockdown, all my clients cancelled within 4 or 5 days because I was used to seeing people on that face-to-face, one-to-one basis. And I thought, you know, Frankie, this has cleared the space now to write this book. So I started. I kept on chipping away at it every day. It started to take form. I went through and sort of reread it and changed a few bits when I finished it. Give it to a couple of people that like who were really close to me or knew weren't people pleasers. They were honest, and they would have said, like, you know, this is shit, or this is good. They would have been honest with me.
That's what you want. Yeah.
I needed that, and I give it to people, and you know, the feedback that they give me was, listen, this is amazing. I'm really proud of you. So I was pleased with that. Then I sent it off to Sam, who edited it for me. She then sent it to a team of people who would proofread it. And then the next step now is she's just sent me my cover the other day, how my cover's going to look. So really, really chuffed about that. And yeah, next it'll be going to the printers next. I'm just waiting for a guy who's wrote a full word for me to send me that over, and ready to roll then. So yeah, it's looking like a March release date. So I'm really, really excited.
Thanks, Darren. You really inspire me. I'm really excited for you. You can see it. I'm really inspired. So Darren mentioned some really important points here about your book, which I followed. I've written down my book. I did it in a blog, because there's all different ways you can do a blog. Like Darren's done it different. He's shown a different way of doing it. I did it in a blog, which you can do as well, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, write it down in the blog, look at it, get a close friend, which I got a close friend to look at it, because she corrected all little spelling mistakes or just a question marks or punctuations or things what needed sorting out. She did that for me, and I thought that was great. Awesome. Now it's a case of what Darren said. He got someone to proofread it. Then he got another person. Then he's got another person to move that book on so he can get it published. He's going to get his cover now for the book, which is fantastic. I know I've got my cover, which I feel I want to put on my book so I can explain that, what the cover is going to be. And I think, Darren, you would say as well that I think it's once you know what your book's about or what you want to write in it and your cover, it takes that less work away of actually publishing it. Is that right, Darren?
Yeah. Once you know and you're clear, same as that first step, Frankie, being clear on your dream, what that is. And I think the same with that, you can implement that to anything, can't you? This if you're clear on what your book is about, what message you want to get across, and who you want to help with it, and then it kind of starts flowing. And I love like what you say about you did it with a blog, and I know somebody else that had done it through interviews that she'd had on her podcast, and it was called, I think the book was called something Conversations. I've got it somewhere, but it might be upstairs. So there's that many different ways of getting your story across. It's finding, as with anything, it's finding what works for you.
Darren, thank you so much. So many important points, guys and ladies and gentlemen. I hope you picked up them important points. But remember, a book, everybody has a book in their lives. And that book may change your life forever, and your feelings and all the suffering and pain, what you've experienced in your life to where you are now. So we're not victims of our circumstances. We're telling a story of the pain, the transformation, and the joy and the happiness what we're receiving. That's what it's about, and to encourage and inspire as many people as we possibly can. So I hope Darren and myself are encouraging you, audience, ladies and gentlemen, to write your book and to share that with the world, because you have qualities and aspirations in your life, what you need to share with other people to help them write their book and to help them heal and solve problems, deep problems, what they have in their life, for them to move on and get better and grow and to be the great people which we know, Darren and myself know that you are. So Darren, thanks again so much, Darren, for all the information about this book. You gave us some great tips. I've took away some of them great tips, and I'll talk about them again with you. But them tips have really helped me. So look out for our books, guys, yeah, because we're going to inspire so many people, I know. And I really appreciate you tuning in to this video channel. I hope you got a lot of information and benefit and inspiration for your lives from it. Leave us a comment below. Hit the notification bell. I'm Frankie Kington. Darren, do you want to leave any more details about you or anything you want to say?
Yeah, you can hit me up on Facebook, guys, or on Darren J. Brookes on Facebook and LinkedIn. Always happy to connect with with new amazing people, and appreciate you having me, Frankie. As always, my friend.
No problem, Darren. Yeah, and I'll be publishing that book. I'll put it in my description on my YouTube channel. So look out for that, guys. Thanks again, Darren. I appreciate you, mate. I appreciate everything about you and your time. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Have a joyful day, mate. And warmest wishes to you all. And I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Frankie.
Cheers, Darren. Thank you, my friend.
Cheers.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.